Well, these two teams have met here twice before for a 4-point thriller and a 2-point thriller. Are we in for another this evening? The D's and the Roos, away we go on Saturday night footy.
And you've just got to look in your screen at the first 10 seconds of this game to give you a sense of what to expect over the next couple of hours. Maddie Gay back into the lineup tonight. Missed the opening couple of rounds with a quad issue. Paxman, as the Roos collapse on her, and there you go. Right on cue, Paxman and Carney in the screen together.
It's what you want to see, isn't it? But I'm really looking forward to this ruck battle as well. Emma King versus Lauren Pearce. King was kept very quiet last week by Ree Watt, so hopefully she can come out and have a big impact today.
Gay went low and hard and then does the tackling work on Ash Riddell. Got to mention, as you can see on screen, it is pristine here at Casey Fields. It's a place that often has its own weather system. It's on point tonight as King gets the first meaningful kick forward. And look at Goldrick absolutely fly to defence for the D's. She did the job last week on Katie Brennan here. Mithen wanted a free. Heath, Hanks, Paxman. D's looking for space. Carney looking for the neck.
And found it. High contact going to Karen Paxman. The two champs head-to-head. Great to see.
And this is what we want to see, isn't it? The physicality that these two sides bring, but these individual matchups. Who can get the upper hand early on in this game?
Kate Hall, one of the real improvers in the competition. Awkward one to the wing, just pitched in front of Parry. Good effort there from Grierson. Taken by Hall. She'll bounce it towards half forward. Riddell just shoved out of the way by Zanker. Cunningham. Zanker tries to control it through the hands of Bruton. She'll go again. Hanks comes in hard. Lays a tackle. Gay smothered off her boot. Randall just gets it out of there. Heads towards the line. Carney strives to get there. Can't quite. We'll have a throw in. So North Melbourne, first in the competition for hits to advantage. Emma King so dominant. They're also #1 in clearances. So Melbourne actually pretty good at contested possessions, though. They've just got to try and avoid North doing damage with that first possession around the stoppages. And this is Jackie Parry.
Yeah, it's a kick one this season. 75 out from goal, sets it up. Cunningham presented to the front. Hoare at the drop. She's got good agility, flicks it over the top for Zanker, who couldn't quite get a handle on it. May have even had a bit of sun in her eyes. Out to Mithen. She's tackled as she kicked, which impacted the ball and its trajectory, and eventually Ashmore just lets it waddle over the line. But Melbourne, at long last, get some territory in their half of the ground. It's 13 possessions to 4 in favour of the D's early, so they've had to work at the length and breadth of Casey Fields for this first opportunity at goal. Zanker forward line ruck work read best by Bruton. North get out of it, Gavalis, but it might be only for a short time. Goldrick mark on the chest. Paxman darts into your screens, takes the mark. Quick to reference, look for an option. You'd expect it's Cunningham. She's off the line. That's beautiful link-up play.
Well, it was excellent defensive setup there by Melbourne. So many of the Kangaroos midfielders had gone deep in defence inside 50, and it allowed Melbourne to really set up beautifully.
And they do this well, the D's, as the Roos do, but at the moment it's on Melbourne's terms. And that second link-up inside forward 50, inside 50s are meaningful, inside 30s are even more so. Hoare gets the opportunity here.
Top two teams in the comp for score accuracy nudge, and I think it speaks to what you're talking about there. They work the ball around inside forward 50 to get maximum percentage shot at goal.
And efficiency has been the name of Kate Hoare's game this season. 2 goals in both of the opening rounds without a miss, which was the one little knock on her first couple of years at the level. She'll try and ride this on the breeze. It gets deep to the line, but misses.
Two high-quality teams. It's got a big game feel about it, even without a crowd. These two teams pretty keen to see how they match up against each other. The kick in from Grierson. Quick kick from Colvin back inside 50. Slick hands, pinched by Hanks. Snaps it to the top of the square. It's a 2-on-2. Zanker reels out of the contest. It spills to Paxman. She snaps goalward. Zanker's still down. Minor score to Karen Paxman in everything early as per usual. And there is Zanker. Just went reeling out of that last contest. Ball still alive. Chance here for the D's. Scott to the pocket. Hanks. She's sandwiched and taken down. North get there in numbers, and the cavalry arrive just in time.
Gavalis was bereft of options. Melbourne lock it in with more pressure around the footy. It's the pacey Shelley Heath who brings it inboard. That was well read on Paxman. At the fall here, Goldrick just couldn't quite execute the kick she wanted to. It'll shuffle its way wide to Sheriff, who held her width, missed Paxman with the intended target. She gathers, has Campbell for company in her first night for the Roos. Big ball to win here because North have a one-on-one in their half of the ground. Garner has to turn tackler and lock it up here.
So in the middle of the ground, it's Bruton who takes it. Kicks towards centre half forward, Birch.
Well done, Libby Birch. Not much gets past her, does it, between her and Daisy Pearce now roaming around that back line. They're so strong.
Carney. Quick kick off the contest, inside 50. Important hand in there. Spills to Bateman, couldn't get the kick away under pressure. Campbell. Abatangelo concedes a bit of ground to get it to Ashmore. She's got Hanks to deal with. Tries to bend it around on the right, but can't get the angle. Out of bounds on the full.
Gosh, she's an impressive athlete, isn't she, Caitlin Ashmore? She's the last woman in defence, and then more often than not, she's down in that forward line, as we just saw, having shots on goal. So an elite runner.
Was moved forward last year. Darren Crocker said, look, when you've got a tank like Caitlin Ashmore's got, she can run in both directions. Let's get her back up on the wing, where you can just get her involved in the play so much more and get her delivering it inside 50. She did there, but it's cut off by Karen Paxman.
Who's up for a 5th touch of the night already. It's going to be a risky one at that. Garner over the top, creates the spill, time and space on the right, inboard. Magnificent, finds Campbell, whose first kick as a Kangaroo could deliver her first AFLW major.
Yeah, Shimbona number 37 she becomes with her game here today. Loved what I saw from her in the Richmond VFLW program earlier.
This will create a flood towards her if she kicks it. Here come the teammates. North on the board early.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to spend some time with her in the VFLW program down at Richmond. She's such a quality player. She does everything right, but she's an even better person off the ground as well, guys. She always makes her teammates smile, and that's what I love about her.
So Grace Campbell battled some shin soreness through the pre-season, just delayed her start. And a great moment for Grace Campbell, 4th in Richmond's best and fairest last year. Overcame some shin soreness. She's had a busy year as a nurse dealing with coronavirus. She kicks a goal with her first kick for the Kangaroos, her first in AFLW. Here's Carney hunting it again. Gets it to Riddell. High kick towards half forward, working hard to get there. Couldn't quite complete the mark was Eddie. D's arrived to try and lock it up. Free kick North Melbourne. It's going to Ashmore. We've spoken about their efficiency inside 50. We're seeing it already. Kick inside again off the chest of Bannister. Here's Goldrick. Quick hands to Pearce. Pearce off a step towards Cunningham. Well-timed fist from Randall. Mia King. Carney shrugs the Zanker tackle. Now Paxman returns the favour. So Carney got Paxman with a coat hanger early. Now it's 1-1, and a 50-metre penalty for not returning the football will take Emma Carney right to the goal line, and the Roos should have 2 on the board. So Carney will kick from the top of the square. It's probably been the one knock on her game. She's done just about everything else in her career. She's kicked 7-13. Hasn't quite made the most of her opportunities around goal. But from 15 metres out, she makes no mistake. So a good start now for the Kangaroos. They've got 2 on the board early. Once again, we see that efficiency. 4 inside 50s for 2 goals. A little bit of early pressure now on the D's. We had the running in the first 5 minutes, but only had 2 behinds to show for it. The Kangas have gone down the other end and gone bang, bang.
It was disappointing for the D's for all of their defensive efforts in that first 5-10 minutes of this quarter to lock it in their forward half. A 50-metre penalty to the skipper, Emma Carney. And she makes it 2 goals for the Roos, an early lead for them.
So work to do for the D's here after they had early territory dominance. Lauren Pearce trying to extract it forward, eventually flicks a shoe at it. Gilroy trying to trap the ball. Bresnahan there for support. She's tackled by McAvoy. Paxman surrounded, did well to dish it off to Hanks. The kick was clever, staying under it and copping a hefty knee in the back was McAvoy. She'll shake off the effects, though. That was courageous play, epitomising what we've seen in these first 10 minutes. Hands it off. Gay from the paint of 50. Flyers are plenty. Fingertips at it as well. North have it at ground level. Hardiman trying to screw it around and hope for a favourable bounce here. At least it pitches 2 and 3 times. Gillespie Jones desperately chased after it, but that Sharon is pesky at the best of times.
Just evaded her grasp. So free kick to the D's. It's going to Colvin. She'll drive it back towards 50. Gavalis. In fact, it was Sard. Bounced off her chest, and Gavalis can take the crumb. She left it behind. McAvoy wrapped up by Sard and Gavalis. And leave McAvoy in for her first game this season after being emergency first couple of rounds. Coming in off quarantine from Ireland. Mithen released the handball. Carney, a willing tackler. Clever work from Gay. Tapped it to Mithen. Can't get it to boot. Great pressure there from Gilroy, who now flings it out the Carney direction. Coming hard at her was Maddie Gay. It'll be a stoppage about 35 metres out from the Melbourne goal.
Physical start between two highly skilled teams, both undefeated through the opening couple of rounds. Sard can grab it out of the ruck. Melbourne may not have had a ruck nominated, and it worked in their favour in the end because Hanks was the player on the scene, just went, I'll tackle you, Sard. And quick to take the kick as well. That's excellent read there from Nesta to come in on her return. Carney was too hot for her hands. How was the pickup from Hanks? Off to Mithen, kick forward. Relieving mark taken by Viv Sard.
And Jackie Parry saying, hey, I had plenty of that. That shouldn't have been a mark. It's going to be cut off. And Shelley Scott now, who is a strong kick. Within range here from 35 out. 15-15 in her AFLW career. This for a settler early for the D's. Just keep them in touch. Gives it a good thump. It was always going right, though. Another minor score for Melbourne.
Just haven't been able to quite get those shots within that 30-metre zone as yet, the D's, despite the entries. Gilroy runs a meandering path and then an inventive kick, to say the least, that dialed into the Irish heritage. Randall leans back on this ball. In the sunshine, some work to do for Nesta now, who's got Sheriff on the scene, and she closes her down with a textbook tackle. A push. A free kick, and the Roos can take a little bit more ground. Lauren Pearce made the contest on Sard. North have got the numbers. Bruton the pick up at high speed. Campbell steps through Daisy Pearce and then shuffles a kick forward. It wasn't quite to the advantage of Bannister. She's got a couple to beat here, but likes her chances. She'll just try and bundle Birch out of the way. They then meet at ground level. Emonson there in support for the D's. Lampard taken the ground by Gillespie Jones, and North have moved at the length of Casey Fields, but it's a D's ball.
Lampard will get the free kick in the back against Gillespie Jones. Great to see Sarah Lampard back after a second ACL. Kick outside 50. Riddell couldn't quite control it. Quick kick forward came from Mithen. Here's a chance now for Bannon. Super athletic. Goes for a run. Has a bounce. Delivers it inside 50. Coming in one direction there is Zanker. Clever play from Hardiman. Actually socket it past her. Ashmore will arrive. It's a 3-on-2 in favour of Melbourne, but North have got the running right now. Ashmore and Hardiman, 3 to beat. Spun in the tackle. Ashmore uses Hardiman, flips it out, and by now the support has arrived. Randall, aggressive switch. It's going to get cut off. Opportunity here for Casey Sheriff. Chance for her first score for season 2021. Game number 10 tonight. Former basketballer. Originally came into this side as a replacement for Daisy Pearce when Daisy was pregnant. Took her opportunity with both hands and has forged a career for herself right to the line. It was a beautiful kick. Still alive. North prepared to concede nothing, but in the end, It's gone out of bounds on the full when they probably could have run it through.
Well, she didn't look overly confident, did she, Casey Sheriff, when she probably only fell short of half a metre or so. So I really think that she should have pushed back strongly off of that mark and then backed herself in to go for goal.
Yeah, she made great contact on it.
She did.
So Kate Hoare's shown a penchant for the banana in the first couple of weeks, but this is going to take the protractor to come out here. She's got 0 goal face to shoot at here. Couple of steps, goes the snap, hits the fat side of the footy, needs a marking option, gets it
Well done.
in the form of Parry.
That's what they need, isn't it? They've been pushing the ball inside 50, but just not deep enough. So they've now got a mark, 15 metres out. So hopefully she can slot this one through. Can Jacqueline Parry?
None in the regular season yet, but 2 goals in the practice match against the Cats for Jackie Parry. Dominant goal kicker in AFLW Canberra football. Gets the job done here at Casey Fields, and the margin back to 3.
So Jackie Parry on the board for the first time in season 2021. And Melbourne with an important late goal in this opening term. Just provide a little bit of reward for their effort. They went round the horn to get it, but they got there in the end.
It was a great mark by Parry, as we can see on screen there, and she backed herself in, went back nice and steady and slotted it through for the D's first goal of the game.
Not exactly the way Mitch Denier would have drawn it up. It was a little bit, well, it was the scenic route, wasn't it? But they got there in the end.
They got there in the end.
It's back to a 3-point game. King got the tap, taken by Mithen. Couldn't get the purchase on the kick. Defensive punch came from Bruton. Riddell receives the handball from Carney. Kicks towards half forward. It's a 2-on-1. Pearce at ground level against Abertangelo. Slapped it out, taken by Gavalis. She kicks it inside 50. Bannister stretches and beats Birch to the football. Daria Bannister, really important inclusion. Such a talented player. Had horrific run with injuries. She's been in the system since 2018. Would you believe this is the first time in her entire career she's managed to play 3 games in a row? Injuries just cut her down time and time again. Super talented, the young Tasmanian. From 45 out, right to the line. Again, Melbourne defence get a hand on it. We've seen the defences at both ends tonight working overtime on the goal line. And this will be Daisy Pearce to bring it back in with 29 seconds on the clock.
She didn't mind it off the boot either, Bannister. There was just 1 or 2 steps of that forward who kicks for goal.
Walking to a putt.
This. Daisy Pearce's kick is a wobbler. Mia King denied by a fist from Mithen. So Melbourne with 11 more possessions in this opening quarter. Inside 50's pretty level. Kate Hoare with 8 for the Ds. Mithen, Paxman, Tyler Hanks with 6. Carney 6, Hardiman 5 for the Roos. One final opportunity for the Roos, perhaps. Lauren Pearce, King, Goldrick, shovels it wide for Birch. Bannister, desperate tackle. Sheriff, they might be one touch away here, Melbourne, from escaping before the bell. Bruton couldn't execute the hand pass. Cunningham clever to lock it up. And now it's Melbourne who might be denied by the siren. Highly entertaining opening quarter of footy.
Yeah, 2 high-quality teams going at it at Casey Fields. A 4-point margin as we get set for the second term. Entertaining game, this really interesting, revealing contest at Casey Fields on Saturday Night Football. Carney sockers it forward to start the second quarter. Daisy Pearce comes in, lays a tackle. Nowhere for Grace Campbell to go. King and Pearce continue what's been an absorbing battle in the ruck. Heath shrugged the first tackle, was then taken down by Garner. Paxman got a hand in there. Hanks couldn't quite control it. King went down and won it. Hanks stripped it from her. Gay went in hard as well. Holding the football, dived on it. It's going to be a free kick. It's going Melbourne's way, and it's going to the very impressive youngster Tyler Hanks. She set Paxman up. Suddenly, she managed to just wiggle her hips and find some space where there looked to be none. Free kick in the back against Zanka.
She's so great to watch, isn't she, Paxman? You just nailed it, but I spoke of it from pre-game. Whenever she has ball in hand, she just always seems to have so much time and space.
Randall towards the wing. She's got great balance, doesn't she, Karen Paxman? Gillespie Jones. Here's Mithen. Carney tries to rip it away from Kate Hall. Mia King. Quick hands, smothered off the hands of Gay. Taken by Mithen, she can't get a kick away. Hot football to start this second quarter, isn't it? Parry, she lays a tackle. King can't get rid of it, she's wrapped up by Mithen. Mia King as well, Bruton flips it out to Carney. North win that little scrap towards half forward, but Lauren Pearce playing a kick behind the play, takes the mark. Najua down at ground level, it looks to be quite still here at Casey Fields now.
As I said in the opening minutes, Jace, as good a conditions as you get here, and we've seen it all in our time coming to Casey Fields. Presenting for this is Lampard, and she looks like she has her full capabilities after that ACL in round 6 last year. Kick into a clutch of players that worked its way to the back for Parry. Melbourne haven't got much forward here apart from Zanker, and she's almost spotted out of the corner of her eye. Greason couldn't mark. Zanker off to Heath. Somehow forwards Cunningham. They might be one possession away here. Hall with the sidestep and the finish to match. She's a beauty. We've been talking about players across the first couple of rounds of the season who have qualities and capabilities that few other can match. Kate Hall's capacity to get out of traffic into clear air and execute her skills is top shelf.
Well, she's putting a game together already, isn't she? We're only a few minutes into the second quarter. Kate Hall, a beautiful finish. She's up to 9 disposals and a goal there. But no matter where she is around the ground, she always has an impact. A very impressive player.
5 straight for the season now, and the D's regain the lead. Paxman with Carney hanging off her once again. Carney wins this one. Paxman comes back for more. Gives away a free kick on this occasion. It's 2 old bulls going at it. We mean that in the nicest possible way, of course. Carney swings it wide. King takes the mark. Good spread from North Melbourne. Towards half forward. Heath with the fist. Will it sit for Mithen? Again, Carney comes through, lays a tackle. Paxman taken out as well. Scott quick hands. Heath releases Kate Hall. Now to Hanks. Some overlap run here from the D's. Coming across to cut it off, importantly, was Ashmore. Can North hit them on the counter? This is Abertangelo pushing up high. Marking just backward to the wing. She'll go short. Find Gavalis. 2 really well-disciplined and drilled teams, putting their systems head-to-head tonight. Well read by Goldrick. Worked off Saab and took it on her chest.
I've really enjoyed the start of her game here tonight. That's her 4th disposal, but she's really creating those running chains out of defence and kick-starting attacking passages of play for the D's.
She finds Parry. Aggressive ball movement here from the D's. Hanks to Pearce, and they attack through the corridor.
It's likeable. Sheriff is open-sided. Chip short. She'll force Hardiman to defend. That is wonderful play from Melbourne, understanding exactly what they're driving into. Hardiman was back as the goalkeeper, Abby, and Cunningham just slotted into her lane. Takes the mark.
100%, and that is exactly where you want the mark. You know, a good 25 metres out and directly in front of goal. So hopefully Tegan Cunningham can kick truly.
She only took 10 marks for the entirety of the 2020 season. And with a couple tonight, she's got 9 through 9 and a bit quarters. Now to finish off her work. 3 goals for the season so far. Melbourne's all-time leading goal kicker in the competition. Gets it home. Melbourne extend the margin to 8. One of the nuances of being at a venue like this with no fans whatsoever is there's very little cues apart from perhaps the goal umpire and definitely the players when it comes to trying to work out whether a ball has made its way through accurately or not. Tegan Cunningham, a muted celebration to say the least.
Just A1 ball movement, Abs. When you're drawing it up as a coach and you're practicing at training with the drills, that's how you practice it.
Textbook, isn't it? And look at that finish from Tegan Cunningham. It was very clearly a direction from Mick Stinia at quarter time was just to nail that ball movement, to lower the eyes and hit targets inside 50, and that's exactly what we just saw.
So Kate Horse kicked 5 straight for the year. Tegan Cunningham now 4 straight for the year, and the D's lead by 8 points. Here's Pearce off halfback again. High kick under pressure. Awkward bounce. Opportunity here for Cunningham to come out again. It just trickles past. Socket off the deck by McAvoy. Gets it inside 50. Gilroy will be first back, but she's got a couple to beat. Almost a little drop kick there. Paxman, Bannon, bends it across. Cunningham at the top of the square. Can't quite get there. She'll get there on the bounce. Hardiman to put some pressure on. Ashmore. Grierson in there looking for support as well. Ashmore in the end wrapped up by Cunningham, and North did well to scramble back. Good start to this second term for the D's. This time converting territorial advantage into score. Gavalis' handball cut off. She did well. Smothered the handball of Gay. Mithen, Gavalis go again. Gay on the bottom of that pack. Gavalis comes in over the top. Umpire lingers. Calls for it.
A bit to think about for North's coaching staff, Abby, including Reece Harwood, who looks after their backs, as to whether Hardiman can keep playing that goalkeeper role or has to roll up and make Cunningham accountable. Works here for Mithen to dab that kick short for McAvoy. Again, probably suspect it's right on her range. Chip this wide. Scott led Grierson up, took her sideways, takes the mark, and Melbourne are having their way with the Roos in their front half right now.
It's been impressive, hasn't it, Abs? It's been really methodical and systematic from the D's.
It really has, and just the composure. And as I just touched on before, just their ability to lower the eyes. I feel like in that opening term, they were just, you know, bombing the ball in deep and just not being able to find a target. So very impressive in this second term.
Shelley Scott had a shot from a similar range in the opening quarter to the right of screen.
Oof.
Has it here. Melbourne have the last 4 in the game. And they are finishing off their work in style at the moment. See Danielle Hardiman in deep conversation with some of the other North Melbourne defenders. They're trying to defend a wave at the moment, but it's all Melbourne.
Three inside 50s this quarter, Abs, for 3 goals.
Pretty telling, isn't it? The last one, as we can see on screen now, Shelley Scott. What a beautiful kick from close to the boundary that was. But the North Melbourne defenders, currently I'm looking at them with hands on hips in deep defensive 50. So they've really got to just come together and work out how to best approach this Melbourne attack.
So once again, it's Melbourne getting them on the outside. Uncontested possessions, 22-7. They're scrapping well inside and then beating them up on the outside. Nesta came through, did well. Got it to Carney. She grits her teeth, goes for a run. Has a bounce. Drives it inside 50 to a 2-on-2. Melbourne defenders playing in front. Well done, Bateman. Did really well to Garner. She dribbles it through and North get one back. Beautiful front and centre work there from Daisy Bateman. These two class sides just going punch for punch. And Melbourne concede a goal after kicking the first 3. Great response there from North Melbourne. Emma Carney just busting out of the middle and leading from the front. Margin back to 8 points with just over 8 minutes remaining in this second term.
Well, momentum is a beautiful thing in football, and the D's were well and truly on top, and very important here for the Roos to just pick one back. You see Daisy Bateman getting front and centre beautifully, and then Jazzy Garner just being able to dribble that through. So really important for the North Melbourne girls.
So Roos break a run of 4 straight Demon goals. Eden Zanker into the ruck, rushes it forward. Hanks tried to step, gives it to Mithen, who's been surrounded by Roos all night so far, it seems. Mia King, the handball wide, half-volley pick-up from Ashmore was clean. Grierson gets to her former side. Back to Ashmore, who's got running here as North try and eat into this margin. Mia King has it. She'll chip wide for Riddell. Had a huge influence on the contest so far. This will be her 4th possession of the night. As you can see, players from both teams just sliding their way forward, and North with a little bit of control here. Ashmore, will she be forced to kick to a contest here? Looks that way. King presenting. Zanka couldn't body her out of it. Well done by Emma King. So North, a kick away here. Lead comes. Goldrick presented hard. Sard kept the hands free. Cunningham sliding back into defence. Releases Mithen. Wants an option, chips it short and finds Scott low down.
D's go quickly off half-back. They've got no numbers forward of the ball, so Scott had to hold it up. Is that going to be a 50? It is for encroachment, so that's a huge bonus for the D's here, because thundering forward quickly is Scott. Delivers it inside 50, almost too quick for her forwards, but Melbourne have got the wall built at 50. Scrubby kick from Gay. Got an option inside. It's Parry. Dumping tackle. Umpire says free kick. It's going to be a free kick to Jackie Parry. It was a vigorous tackle from Talia Randall. No malice in it. Just strength. Jackie Parry a chance to go back and kick her second for the evening. A face full of the Casey Fields turf, which is absolutely immaculate. It's like a carpet out there. It's absolutely perfect. So Parry, 20 metres out, directly in front. Chance to re-establish that little handy buffer for the D's, and she slots it through. So Melbourne re-establish a 14-point lead. Parry boots her second. Great story, Jackie Parry, originally from Brighton here in Melbourne. Played soccer until 2018, went to Canberra for university. It's where she got involved in footy. Had a fantastic 2019 playing up there in the Canberra League for Queanbeyan. Kicked 60 goals in 12 games, including 5 in their grand final. Got onto the Melbourne list last year and is really improving.
Well, it was that swift ball movement forward, wasn't it, after that 50-metre penalty in the back, as we can see on screen there, and another goal to the D's. It really has been their quarter in this second term, and they're out to another really strong lead.
4-1 in the quarter, and their ability to link the chain from defence to attack working so far. Riddell rolling the sleeves up here, pushes it forward for Campbell, who's kicked one of North's goals tonight. Lampard outpoints her. Lauren Pearce, they work the triangle. Hanks flicks it around her body, and Hall presents and makes it her own. Growing in stature every minute in this competition, Kate Hall. Looking now for Cunningham, almost sandwiched. Gilroy has the recovery. Can find some clear air. Who kick to a 1-on-1. King and Emerson. King not able to shuffle that handball free. Ball locked at centre away, and this is one of the better games in what's already been a pretty good AFLW season.
Yeah, one for the purists. There's two teams very well drilled and disciplined, playing their system against each other to see which one will hold up. This is Paxman coming up for her 9th possession. Drives it inside 50 over the head of Cunningham, through the hands of Hardiman. Randall's going to have a couple to beat at ground level. She committed the body. They dive in on top. Scott extracts it. Sheriff stripped of it. Hall runs straight into Grierson and is taken down. Randall comes in over the top. Cunningham locks up with King. Pice has a block against Emma King. She's incredulous. Free kick going the way of Tegan Cunningham, who's kicked 4 straight for the season. After a disappointing 2020, she only kicked the 2 goals for the year. Mixtoneer telling us during the week that she got a little bit too focused maybe on the outcome. I want to take marks, I want to kick goals. This year she's been all about the process. How do you get to that situation? Work on the finer points of the game. Release the pressure on yourself. She's playing some fine football for Melbourne. Kick on its way. This one starting right. Minor score for Tegan Cunningham as the D's continue to press.
So margin at a game-high 15, inside 4 minutes to play of the second. Danielle Hardiman's seen far too much action for her liking in this second quarter. Indecision over the head of Randall. Melbourne are throwing speed and pressure at the Kangaroos right now. It's when St Kilda looked their best last week, despite the fact that the Saints only kicked 1 goal in that match. They pressed North for stages of that game. And they applied both those principles. Zanka protected the drop zone for Mithun. Pistons a handball to Paxman. Flying kick deep. Cunningham's got a couple for company. It ricochets out of her hands. It's paddled by Hardiman. Hoare at ground level. Nesta surrounded by Parry. And the push was found, but Nesta was giving one of those, I'm really handballing it, I'm really handballing it type pieces of action.
Clayton's handball. Nesta to Randall. That's the handball you give when you're not giving a handball. As Randall goes down the line, Riddell.
As opposed to a handball in the vicinity of a Monash Uni campus.
No, not that. Riddell down the line. Bateman. Pierce from behind, forced a contest. Mithun, the beneficiary at ground level, slips away from Bateman. Can she find a target inside 50? Cunningham again worked under it illegally by Hardiman. Umpire says push in the back. Danielle Hardiman disagrees. Says she was just using the body.
Another free kick to Tegan Cunningham, as we'll just have another look at it. The hands were definitely in the back. But how about the fake from Lil Mithun as well? She went to give the ball left and held onto it. Faked it to the defenders, and then a beautiful delivery right to that sweet spot once again, 20 metres out of goal.
So Tegan Cunningham at her dangerous best in this first half. Attracting the traffic and making things happen for Melbourne. And they extend their lead. What a quarter of football from the D's. They trailed by 4 points at quarter time. They've kicked 5 goals to 1 to lead it by 21 points with just under 2 minutes remaining until the half. Tegan Cunningham with 2 goals, 1 for the quarter. Really giving them a target, giving Danielle Hardiman all she can handle in this second term. As they just debate whether or not that was a free kick.
2-1 of Melbourne's 5 goals in the quarter for Tegan Cunningham. She's coming up big.
She really is. Half-time can't come soon enough for Darren Crocker. I think defensively he just needs to adjust. His defence had only ever given away 2 goals heading into round 3. And they've conceded 6 goals, 4 to half-time.
I think it's doubled the points tally that they conceded through the opening 2 rounds. Abs in just the 2 quarters here, but all credit to Melbourne. As you mentioned, Jace, it's a night of contrasting styles, and it's Melbourne's winning out so far. That kick slewed off the side of the boot, but Parry will just make it work. North of bystanders at the moment. Scott wide for Mithun, who comes into the fray at King. That is not a fair fight when it comes to height, but Mithun will shake it off. Resilient character around the Melbourne midfield. King down to Garner, who needs to lift her side in the second half. Lampard enjoying her return. Daisy Pearce lost the handle on it. Chance here for the Roos. Gavalis' kick ricochets to Birch. Colvin to Goldrick, and away go the D's.
Overlap run again from Melbourne from half back. Over the head of Parry. Nicely read by Gilroy to cut it off for North Melbourne with just over a minute remaining in the half. Gilroy goes for distance up towards the wing. Nicely gathered at ground level by Garner. Bananas it towards 50. Again, Goldrick playing in front. Wins the football, only knows one way, just comes charging through. Handball to Heath. Again, support run. This time it's Paxman. She can pop it over the top to Gay. Gay has got a player forward of the football. It's Zanka. Couldn't take the mark. She actually had 2 options inside if she could gather. Can use them now. Hoare, with 30 seconds left, is going to be run down by 3 Kangaroos. It's still there for Paxman. She'll drive it to this Cunningham-Hardiman contest. Cunningham in front. Front and centre roving from Parry was excellent. And she's got another. Jackie Parry's kick 3. Again, superb ball movement from Melbourne, and Mixton here talked about being predictable for each other, and right now that's exactly how Melbourne look.
Very impressive quarter from the D's, and Parry, as he said, finishes with her 3rd goal, but they're just dominating that uncontested game, that overlap play coming out of defence. I'm loving Goldrick's first half of footy and just their ability to get the ball on the outside and run it hard. It's been a sensational first half to watch.
High quality football from Melbourne as Carney comes charging away. Trying to lift her team, but it's Pearce, the opposing captain. Puts it into the path of Mithun. Mithen goes over the top to McNamara. And the siren sounds to end a signature quarter from the D's. They booted 6 goals to 1 against one of the competition fancies, North Melbourne. And at half-time, they lead by 27 points. So North Melbourne now. I'm going to find out a bit about the Kangas in the second half. They trail by 27 points. Garner into the middle. It's taken by Hanks. She gets the first kick of the third term. It's cut off by Gilroy.
Yeah, what do you do if you're mixed in here at half-time? You don't say anything, do you? You let them go to work.
Let's see what Darren Crocker and his team have come up with. Here's Lampard taken down by Campbell. The first non-negotiable, Abs, I would presume, is just be physical around the contest.
Absolutely. They pride themselves on that contested game, and that's an area that they really need to dominate in this second half, but then really open it up on the outside as well.
We've got a star-studded midfield. At the moment, it's being beaten. And slapped away from Tyler Hanks, who just continues to get more and more impressive. Last week's Rising Star nominee. She's had 15 touches to lead the game in the first half. What a talent. She turns 21 this Monday. Over the back of the ruck contest, Garner. Gay takes possession and Garner takes her down.
I think Jazzy Garner and Ash Riddell, they're both on 6 disposals for the game, but they haven't necessarily had the impact that we've seen them in previous rounds. So really hoping that they can get busy here.
Garner head over the football. Paxman and Heath go in against her. There's Abatangelo waiting for it to pop out. It doesn't. Leading tacklers in the game so far. Jazzy Garner rolling up the sleeves this evening. She's got the football again now. She's wrapped up. Umpire says not making a genuine attempt, holding the ball. D's want to move it quickly once again. Hanks gives it off to Paxman. Goes in the Zanker direction. She goes to ground. Gives away a free kick. Advantage will be paid. Chance for North Melbourne here. Riddell pumps it inside 50. Goldrick, it pitches in front. Taken by Bannister. Goldrick tries to wrap her up. Affected the handball. Birch, good strong tackle. She's taken down. Opens the door for Sard. Campbell goes again. Lays a second tackle. Good pressure this time. Just got in to her Melbourne opponent's back.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Grace Campbell, but that's the effort that you want to see if you're the coaching group, isn't it? Just those second and third efforts to really try and lift this group defensively.
Goldrick tries to link up with Paxman. A chance here for Ashmore,
who dabs a boot at it. Melbourne are the numbers back. Lampard searching for options. Elects to kick in the end. It's a flyer and it's not going to work. Riddell marks. Catch and release. Hits up Garner. Good decision making from the Roos.
There you go. That's Ash Riddell. As I said, I wanted to see her get a little bit more busy in this third term. So she started well. And she's hit up Jazzy Garner, who, as we know, has been dominating the midfield over the last few years. But we know she's also very handy in front of goal, so see what she does.
Over the two players you mentioned, Riddell and Garner to lift, and they've both had an impact early.
Kicked a second quarter goal. Jazzy Garner, she's such a finisher. Synonymous with goal kicking. Kicked the first ever goal in the competition when a pie. Very much a Kangaroo right now. Needs to revive their chances here at Casey Fields. Right here, right now. She executes. So Garner with a couple, as she did in round 1 against the Cats. Margin 21 points.
It was very important for the Roos to strike first, wasn't it? 21-point deficit to come. Still some hard work that they've got to do, but really good to see them lift early in the third term.
Abs, we said at the start of the night it's going to be a revealing contest. Well, we're going to learn a fair bit about both these teams. North Melbourne now looking to rally. Melbourne are going to have to be steady and strong. A lot to learn for us in the next quarter and a bit.
There absolutely is, and we needed North to strike first. They've brought that deficit back to 21 points, and they need to keep rolling on here.
Pearce links up with Mithen. Kicks it inside 50, just over the head of Grierson, tracking back his parry. He's already kicked 3 goals. Grierson gets there first, wrapped up by Scott. Cunningham, a deft little handball to parry. She ran straight into traffic and will go no further.
Emma King's just pulled up a little bit lame, as you can see with the physio on screen now. She's coming from the ground, so hopefully we'll be able to chase an update there soon.
So Viv Sard will go into the ruck. Lovely tap down to Carney. Little flip to Ashmore. The 1-2 back to Carney, trying to lift her team. Drives to the middle of the ground. A 2-on-1 in favour of the D's. Gillespie Jones fought the good fight and did well. Got it to Eddie, but Melbourne still with numbers around the contest. Pearce slices through. Little give towards Goldrick. Went to the voice of Mithen. Found her eventually. Mithen runs into 3 Kangaroos and is gone. North Melbourne ratcheting up the pressure in this third term.
They're rolling numbers high up to get extras around the ball and win it at the source. Riddell getting busy in the third. Fans the kick wide. It'll sit eventually for Gillespie Jones. She's trapped on her left, so forced to attempt a banana. Birch still under pressure. Work to do here for the D's defensively. Gavalis couldn't find Bateman.
They've definitely lifted. They've definitely lifted. And this is the injury that we can see to Emma King. It's the right leg.
Got a bit of a cork on the inside from the ruck contest, so margin at 21. Can North make another charge here? Pearce grabs it out of the ruck. Worked okay in the end for Mithen, who had the outboard option. Paxman with Carney in hot pursuit. Paxman's kick is wide and Brandon not able to keep it in.
So an interesting tactical battle now, as you mentioned, Nudge. North Melbourne just rolling players up to the contest to get more around the football. Interesting to see whether Melbourne respond or keep doing what they're doing. Pearce at the back, ran into Garner. So strong, Jazzy Garner. Pearce couldn't bust through that tackle. Sard and Pearce. Sard, a nice tap to Garner. Slick hands to Bruton. North Melbourne starting to win the stoppages. Kick towards 50. It was an important fist from Emerson. Goldrick under pressure. Gives it to Emerson. A slight fumble. Gets it on the boot. It was touched. Bouncing football towards Nesta. Had to be quick with the handball. Bruton along the boundary line. Ran into Bannon. Opened the door for Mithen. She gained some territory. McAvoy can't touch it, so it'll be a North Melbourne ball. Viv Sard will have it centre wing. Zemakani checks back into the game for the Kangas. Sard goes in the Gillespie Jones direction, over the back for Bateman. Emerson smothered it off her boot. Mithen feeds it back to Pearce. Nice smother from Eddie. As North continue to pressure. Riddell throws it on the boot. Melbourne with numbers in defence. This is Goldrick.
Going to try and stand up to this North Melbourne surge here. Kangas having the better of the third so far. Sinead Goldrick sends it high into the Casey Field sky. Bannon couldn't mark. At ground level, Carney, McAvoy chopped off. Bresnahan. It was an unkind hand pass to say the least from Nesta. Heath runs into a wall. It was Bruton. Well, the Roos take the advantage. They will. Bresnahan pushes the kick to a couple of one-on-ones. It's Bateman and Goldrick. Goldrick goes to ground. Bateman tries to roll her in the tackle. North will take the territory here. Got a different complexion about them in this third quarter, Darren Crocker's team.
The D's managing to hold on right now. There's a sense of inevitability here for North Melbourne. Emma King's back in the game. Paxman goes again. Tries to get the hands free. Good effort from King. Stripped her of the football. Bruton comes hard in one direction. Mithen the other. Head down, charging through. Bruton extracts it. Gives it to Riddell, who's got busy. She attacks the goal square. Off the hands of Birch. Through for a minor score. The D's again scrambling in defence. Just taking this early flurry of punches in the third term from North Melbourne. Ducking and weaving. North unable to land a heavy blow right now. That kick from Pearce. And she ran into Bateman. King snaps it back inside 50. Awkward bounce. Paxman to try and tidy up. Emerson. Again, numbers with the Kangas. Riddell goes inside 50. Goldrick tried to slap to advantage. Bannister busts through and kicks a goal. Daria Bannister kicks her first for the season. And I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, Abs, it had that sense of inevitability about it. North are pressing and they get the reward.
They were pressing very much so, Jace, but Ash Riddell, she's up to 8 disposals for this third term, and it was great to see Daria Bannister. As we've spoken of her earlier, she's experienced so much injury concerns, and to kick her first goal in AFLW footy this year is great.
So powerful, Daria Bannister. An ACL in 2018, a collarbone in 2020, ended her season in the opening round. She did a meniscus in the grand final down in Tassie during the winter. She's just come back from one adversity after the next and gets North back within 14 points.
Savalas drives them forward again. The Emerson fist to Bannister. She almost gave the handball off a little bit too early. Finds herself in space, uses her brute strength and power to kick another. Wow!
Daria Bannister.
Game breaker.
We said she was talented.
Game breaker.
Just hasn't had a chance to show it.
So talented, the Tassie girl. 2 goals in the space of about 30 seconds here, but what a lift from this North Melbourne side. They needed to respond, they needed to strike and be uncomfortable here in this third term, and that is exactly what they're producing now.
They've flipped this game on its head. 5 inside 50s for the quarter, and they've kicked 3 goals, 1.
Very impressive. 2 goals in the space of about 30 seconds for that woman on screen. But what an increase in effort from this North Melbourne side. That is driving their contested game, and they're getting the results if they get the ball inside 50.
So it's over to you now, Melbourne. Zanker in the ruck against King. Gay got it to Paxman. Carney tackled her when not in possession. And the D's can get some football at their end of the ground. Much needed release.
No.
And that'll be 50.
That was very unfortunate.
Huge moment in the game.
Ash Friedel, unfortunately, not giving the ball back on the full. And this isn't the woman that you want the ball in hand of right here, Karen Paxman.
Wow. We just talked about the importance of momentum, Abs. North had it. Melbourne can snatch it back here, or at least stop the run and get it back out to 14 points. Karen Paxman. Huge kick. 35 out, directly in front.
Wow.
And the champ doesn't let them down.
She's just an all-rounder, isn't she? Karen Paxman, I know that, you know, we speak of her a lot throughout our broadcast and throughout every game, but why wouldn't you when she's an absolute superstar of this competition? 6 disposals in the third term, and really needed to just wrestle back some momentum in favour of the D's. So a very, very important goal there.
Early on, it was Emma Carney getting a 50-metre penalty and kicking a goal. Karen Paxman answers, and it's back out to 14 points.
Here's the 50, and it's like the first swing had enough velocity in it, the second one didn't, but there's just so little in that, Abby.
That's a little bit disappointing from mine, because Riddell has thrown it to Paxi where she was positioned.
Correct.
However, she was pushing back off the mark then, so very unfortunate 50-metre penalty.
That's the old trick. Take the step back, and the umpire's gaze is averted. How's Garner with the flight? Stars standing up all over Casey Fields right now. Brilliant game of footy. Can North make another surge? Not if Colvin's having anything to do with it. She inserts herself into the contest with a brilliant mark. Margin at 14. Colvin, it's kick to kick right now. Grierson gets involved. North just continue to need to run at the game as they have so far in this quarter. They've, in some respects, beaten Melbourne at their own style through moments of this third quarter. Carney now need to be careful as these Casey Fields lights take full effect, and who knows whether things start to get a little bit slippery as well. Sard down the line, Campbell at the back. She'll be up for the fight. Gathers on the half volley. Desperately wants to keep the ball in. Couldn't in the end.
That's a Melbourne ball. So margin at 14 points, which is still a handy lead for the D's. With 4.5 minutes left in the third. Having said that, North kicked 2 goals in 30 seconds through Daria Bannister. So handy, but far from comfortable. This is Lauren Pearce. Drives it wide. Scott get there, she can't. It's out of bounds on the full, and the D's give the football back. Kilroy goes for distance. It's a 2-on-1 in the air. Bateman's so good overhead for her size. Wrapped up by Pearce at ground level. Got the hands free. Campbell couldn't control it. Pearce went down and gave it to Pearce. That was Lauren to Daisy. Paxman and McAvoy got in each other's way. Gilroy the beneficiary. Snaps it inside 50. Coming out to attack it there was Eddie. Couldn't take the mark. Casting the roll of her over was King. Gave it off to Ashmore. Flying snap from 40 metres out. Misses right.
In the first half, North Melbourne looked a little broken, didn't they? They looked shell-shocked as to what was happening in front of them, but they've really increased their running game, and that's what they're known for, is their elite fitness and their two-way running capabilities. So very impressive to see them peg this back in the third term.
Birch is careful. She wants Sheriff. Campbell just couldn't close down the space, and luckily enough for Casey Sheriff, it managed to stay in. There's that glimpse of that new addition to the Casey Fields facility. Sheriff goes into the corridor. Nesta got a fist on that above McAvoy. Riddell has had a huge third quarter. Gilroy pumps it forward. Who's underneath this one? Birch couldn't take the mark. Daisy Pearce clean. Eddie tried to get a handle on her. McNamara had an air swing. Ashmore with a second opportunity. Perhaps high from Lampard. And it was the non-officiating umpire who had the better angle on that contest who made the call. So Ashmore again puts it deep. One-on-ones are plenty. There's Garner, hands to it, not quite. Colvin wants Hanks. Gavalis gets involved. Darting this way and that way. Gets a boot to it. Bateman looking for hands. Abatangelo the crumb. Free kick in the back, yes. Sophie Abatangelo will not get a better look this season. 1-2 so far, 9-12 in her AFLW career. Here's the replay of what happened. There was a scuttling piece of play and Abatangelo falls forward. Goldrick over the top of her. North hurtling at the Ds in this third quarter. Sophie Abatangelo to make the margin a mere 7 points. North thundering at the Ds.
Well, it was unfortunate for Goldrick. She's done so much right in this game so far, but just getting into the back of Sophie Abatangelo, who, if she gets the ball in her hand within, 20, 30 metres from goal, it's more than likely going to go straight through the big sticks.
Four goals to one in this third term as North Melbourne fight their way back into this contest.
We laud both these teams for their efficiency at different stages tonight. North's 4-2 has come from 7 inside 50s and just 48 touches in this third quarter.
Yes, versus King. Miffin wrapped up and penalised for holding the football. So another chance for the Roos here. You can see they're dominating the territory right now. Gavalis, scrubby kick will pitch just outside 50. Nicely gathered by Campbell. Campbell will drive it towards the top of the goal square. Bannister's already kicked a couple in this third term. Birch just flipped it out. Here's Abatangelo. Quick handball. Campbell. Pearce wraps her up. And the D's scrambling late in this third term. In perfect conditions at Casey Fields. Very little breeze to speak of. And these two teams putting on a showcase. Paxman stripped of it. Gavalis tries to muscle her way out. Kate Hoare having none of it. Yes, Parry. Paxman lunges, couldn't control it. Gavalis wrapped up by Parry. Gay gets a boot to ball. Bounces it back. North Melbourne have got some numbers. Nesta's handball was partly stripped. Bruton was clean. Gave it off to Sard. Low driving kick inside 50 on the bounce. Abatangelo and Pearce. It's taken by Goldrick. Good vision. Great hands. Finds Miffin. Miffin can deliver to half back and find McNamara. It's been a quiet night so far for the youngster. Just her third touch.
So 45 seconds for both these sides. A major either way would be massive. Hoare, her first touch of this quarter so far. Not surprising given the D's have only had a couple of inside 50s. Zanka was backing over it, fighting for it, Nesta, as is Bruton. She's surrounded. She'll take them all on though. Tall, small, it doesn't matter. Free kick for the Roos. They'll get one last look at goal here as we tick inside 20 seconds. That's what's in front of Jenna Bruton. Goldrick underneath it. She had the hands trapped for the overhead mark. Thought better of it. Figured she had time and space. Could take it on her chest. And North Melbourne wrestle things back in their favour. 7 points the margin at three-quarter time. one of the better AFLW games we've seen in what's already been a stellar season.
As we start the final term, a Saturday night special at Casey Fields. Beautiful tap from King. Riddell almost ran onto it. It was near perfect. Heath. Riddell comes in, lays a ferocious tackle.
She's surrounded by 3 Roos there, so defence is going to be a key point for them in this third term. But traditionally, this is where we see that North Melbourne elite fitness come to play.
Gay, magnificent handball through traffic to Paxman, who delivers it forward to Scott. Hoare wrapped up by Carney, stripped of the football. And the skipper can't believe it. Umpire says free kick. The tackle slipped over the shoulder. And Kate Hoare will have it 55 from goal. Drives it low. Cunningham, 4th in line. It spills off the contest. Sheriff sells the dummy, releases the handball. North defenders arrive. Grierson can't quite control it. Paxman puts some pressure on. Sheriff lays a tackle. Randall tackles Scott. Parry stripped of the football. Bruton, she's wrapped up by Hanks. Frenetic football, 25 out from the Melbourne goal.
I think whilst no goal was conceded there, we had 3 North Melbourne girls all go up for the footy for a blood rule.
It's a big gash under the right eye of Danielle Hardiman, defensive general for the Kangaroos. So,
and the opponent of Tegan Cunningham.
So it impacts structure straight away, and like-for-like change of sorts with Nesta, but Tegan Cunningham's been key for the D's tonight with a couple. Jackie Parry with 3. Just joining us. North 27 down at the half. A huge third quarter powered by 2 goals in a minute to Daria Bannister. King down here. Ethan was in the front spot. Tackling pressure applied by Bresnahan on Hoare, and we'll do it all again. Cunningham, the forward line ruck work. Paxman v Carney once more. Gay on the outside, just couldn't get an effective kick. Hoare's got 0 space to operate in, as Bresnahan, you think, will be with her for every step of the next 13 minutes of footy.
Cunningham, little tap over the back was intended for Paxman, shoveled out by Heath. Bateman, taken by Gay. Daisy Pearce off a step towards the goal square. Big fly from behind from Randall, took Parry out. Hot one for Riddell. She's got Mithen to beat. 2 little dynamos of the competition going at it at ground level. Scott and King. Ball on the bottom of that pack, and Jackie Parry gets up. She stands at the top of the goal square, a little bit sore after standing underneath that thundering collision from Talia Randall. King, clever little flip to Carney. She's immediately taken down, wants a free kick for too high. Non-officiating umpire spotted it. And Emma Carney will take the free kick. Her 15th touch. Wants to go quickly. He's got an option at half-back. It's Mia King, and she finds her just outside defensive 50.
So work to do here for North. They need to work at the length of the ground, but the lion's share of the play in this second half so far. King chips, looking for Bateman, who went to split the pack, and the ball meanders away from Ash Riddell, who was a driving force in the Kangaroos midfield in that third quarter. A mountain of possessions to bring them back into the contest. Danielle Hardiman still off the ground, getting patched up by the North Melbourne medical staff. So margin at 7. Fist from Emma King into space. Gillespie Jones came to meet it. Gay on hands and knees. Over the top goes Mia King, and we'll have yet another stalemate. A game that's been so free-flowing and open through the first 3 quarters, becoming a stoppage-based game early in the last.
Here telling me during the week they want to be a stoppage-based team, Melbourne. They get a chance to test it against one of the best stoppage teams in the competition. Paxman released for Gay. Carney. And with a 7-point lead right now, Abs, you get a feeling that this probably suits Melbourne. Mixton, you'd be happy with this.
It really does. And I just love that relationship we just saw then between Lauren Pearce and Maddie Gay, these midfielders that have been playing together now for a number of years, that have a true understanding, but they've really got to band together now to finish here strong.
Goldrick couldn't complete the mark. Big body of Gillespie Jones forges a path. Chance for King. Great smother across the boot from Daisy Pearce. Now got Cavalis to take to the line. Well played by the skipper. Excellent defensive work. She was outnumbered. Took it to the line and allows the D's to set up. It was a 3-on-1. She did what she needed to do.
Unbelievable captain, isn't she?
King and Pearce. Here's Mithen again. Scuttles away from Emma Carney. Looks for an option down the line. Kick towards Bannister. Good, ferocious body work from Randall. She hurt herself in the process. Gilroy gains some distance on the kick. Fumble from Paxman as Carney went at her. Slick hands to Mithen. Here's Pearce. Just beats the Garner smother. Finds Hanks. Hanks to Golvan. Colvin off half back. Awkward looking kick. Bruton can cut it off. Run down by Heath. Fantastic tackle.
The least of the Melbourne players in their side tonight you'd want behind you if you were Jenna Bruton then. Little did she know. Heath short, Hanks on the stretch. You can see ball glistening. Lights in full effect and a little bit of dew coming in again. Cunningham through her hands. Opportunity for Sheriff. Ricochets forward. Off the ground, Sheriff! Bounce to the right. Margin 8.
And you just say Tegan Cunningham there, a little bit disappointed. Slap of the hands. She had a clear run at the footy and unfortunately just couldn't stick it.
Randall with the kick in. Goes for distance. Goes for King. Pearce across the front. Got it to ground. Then hunts it on the deck. Steps around Garner. Drives it back inside 50. Kate Hoare tries to work to the front of the contest. It'll spill to Nesta. Over the top of her comes Bannon. It'll squirt out in the Gavalis direction. She gathers. Tight little flick. Intercepted. Scott dribbles it forward. And we'll have a stoppage deep in the pocket for the D's. Can they land a big blow here? They lead by 8 points. Another one here and time suddenly becomes a factor for North Melbourne.
Shows how the game's changed. We've had 55 marks for the night. Just 2 between the teams for 6 minutes of play in this final quarter. Cunningham was in the right spot. King wasn't. King got a second tap on it in the end. Mia King, Garner, where are our options? Oh, the flight. Extreme courage shown from Daisy Pearce. Free kick for a hold at ground level. She's done some amazing things in her career in those colours. That might be almost her finest moment. The courage she showed then to go back with the flight.
It deserves a replay, surely.
So nearly every player on the ground in Melbourne's forward 50. Scott with the body work, didn't have the sticky fingers required. Cunningham spun, handball spits free. Have Melbourne got a moment here? Can Hoare provide it? Ricochets out to Hanks, who just comes straight at the contact.
Just 2 quality teams just going toe-to-toe. This has been wonderful. Everything we hoped it would be. And now it's just down and dirty. Now it's just a grind. It's been free-flowing, entertaining football all night. And when the game's on the line, it's time to roll up the sleeves. Free kick. It's going to Garner. Melbourne with the advantage of 8 points. North need the next one. Carney. 2-on-2. Mithen couldn't quite get the other hand free. She fashioned a kick to Colvin, who's run down. Chance here for North if they want to move it quickly. Ashmore does. She's going to be called to go. Has to just snap a kick over the player on the mark. And Goldrick has been superb. From half back, Nesta stands underneath it, takes the intercept grab as we tick under 7 minutes in the final term.
So big stop for the Roos. They'll get another look here. Kick was poor from Nesta, looking for Ashmore. She can keep it alive at least.
Let's just take another look at Captain Courageous Daisy Pearce. Well, that's the free kick that she was given earlier, but Daisy doing Daisy things. You know, she puts the team first always. She's got that team first mentality, but right here when the game is in the clutch position, Daisy Pearce stands strong.
Gavalis somehow got a handball free for Garner. They got an option here. Presenting was Bateman. Eddie, Bannister, who's been a live wire. Bateman charts a path. Goldrick diving in desperately to deny Bannister. Melbourne live to fight another day, but only momentarily. That kick finds its way over the line, out of bounds. It'll be Kate Gillespie-Jones with the ball. 6 minutes to play, margin 8 points.
Gillespie-Jones pumps it back inside 50, off the hands of Zanka. Bruton waited. Zanka took it. She's stripped. Garner somehow got a kick out of congestion to the top of the square. Chance here for the Kangaroos. Little dish was perfect. And the Roos are back within 2 points as Eddie slots the goal. That's the one they needed. Now they've got plenty of time. 5.5 minutes, and they just need one straight kick.
Wow, what a game of footy. You know, we've seen some sensational contests so far across the first 3 rounds of season 2021, but I don't think one has appeared like this just yet. Melbourne in the first half. North Melbourne wrestling this game back onto their terms in this second half. It's been so impressive.
Ballaretti gets involved, margin back to 2 points. We mentioned earlier these two teams have met twice here at Casey Fields in the past 2 seasons for a 4-point thriller and a 2-point thriller. We've got ourselves another 2-point game.
So Emma King and Zanka, give that one to King. She tried to go off the ground. Riddell goes hands and knees into a jump ball against Zanka. Zanka's tap finds Paxman. She fumbled it to Gay, who had the required half volley pick up. Hardiman back into the action. Grierson's handball ricochets. Can Melbourne punch back here? Nesta with Parry on the scene. Pressure here from the D's. They chase after the Roos. Hardiman, well, they want the sanctuary of the line. No, Gilroy kicks. Just pitches, and Ashmore can get a hand to it and put it over. No lasso. So North avoid that fate, and doesn't Aileen Gilroy like rolling the dice in the last line of defence?
Risky.
Happy to play the game. So Melbourne into attack here, searching for a 3rd straight win to start 2021. Sard can't work the ball free again. It's become a game that's being played right around the clinches.
We tick under 4.5 minutes. Cunningham tap, sharked by Riddell. Lunging effort from Pearce was important. She tapped it to Scott, delivers inside 50. It's punched away from Bannon. There's going to be a free kick for a hold. It's going Melbourne's way. And an opportunity here for Alyssa Bannon to go back and extend Melbourne's lead beyond a kick. Clock ticks down to 4 minutes. They are super excited about this youngster. Supremely athletic. Booted 2 goals last week. A chance to kick a big one tonight for the D's. She keeps it low. It's across the face. And North will get the ball back with 3:45 on the clock.
Mr. Bannon kicked 2 in the second quarter last week, and the celebrations were pretty effervescent. You would have seen something there, you think. So Hardiman trots out of her goal square, sends the kick wide. Gillespie Jones makes the contest at the fall. Goldrick leaves it for McNamara. Young charge has it chopped off by Campbell. Fumbles free for Ashmore. North need to keep this moving to the right of screen. Big fist there, back in board. Finds its way to Hanks. Flicks the kick forward through the hands of Bruton. Hall was clean. What a kick that was. Shoveling hand past Goldrick. Numbers here with the D's. Speed required from Gilroy. She almost threw it out to herself. The fresh air shot was flush, but straight to Gay.
Maddie Gay just steadies things down from 52 metres. Happy to take a bit of time off the clock. First game for the season after recovering from a quad injury. She drives it towards Cunningham at the top of the square. She gathered her own ball at ground level. Bannon couldn't quite control it. North under extreme pressure. Sard puts boot to ball, gains a bit of territory. It's Hanks versus Ashmore. Ashmore soccers off the deck. Now it's Eddie versus Goldrick. Goldrick kept her feet, tries to step Ashmore, gets around the first. Did the second slip high? Umpire says holding the ball, North Melbourne free kick. And 2:20 left on the clock. The Roos will want to go fast. Gillespie Jones sinks her boot into it. Towards the wing, finds Garner. She'll want to turn and go. Opportunity here for North Melbourne. Really penetrating kick towards 50. Through the hands. And it's a free kick for front on contact to Colvin. She didn't realise it was her ball. And she'll take it with 2 minutes left.
There's a pained look on Colvin's face. Is it mine? It's mine.
What did I do?
So wide for Birch, who hadn't had a mark coming into tonight's game for the season, but an important one there to relieve some pressure. Kick is wide. North have numbers. Nesta's kick to Gillespie Jones. Can't work her way free of Sheriff. It's dotted forward by Riddell. It'll be a lasso, a Melbourne ball with 90 seconds to play. Melbourne have led this game since Kate Hoare kicked her first 2 minutes in to the second quarter. North led by 4 points at quarter time. Melbourne kicked 6-1, their second highest ever quarter in the second, to lead by 27 at the half. North with 4 goals to 1 in the third. And now The Roos looking to muster something late. Sard into the corridor, a desperate option at best. Gay's been enormous on her return. Bruton working it forward. Ashmore on hands and knees. Melbourne will try and close this down again. Hanks an important little touch to squeeze it out.
Here's Gilroy. 70 seconds left. She launches it back towards 50. Can the Kangas control the football or at least get it out? They do the latter. So they can set up for a stoppage with 1:02 left on the clock. Can North pinch it in the final minute? Will the D's hang on? King and Pearce go at it once again. King rather got it down to Bruton. Grierson couldn't get an effective kick. Heath got it to Paxman. Into the path of Bannon, who's got speed if she can control it. She's got a couple to beat. Nesta is a free kick. A hold, an unnecessary hold. It was a 2-on-1 North Melbourne's way. It's going to come back to Bannon. A big call.
You can just see both runners on screen now going out and saying, look, girls, there's 30 seconds to go.
So Bannon goes for territory. North have got numbers back. Hardeman the spoil. As we tick inside 30. North need a clean takeaway here. And then it needs to attack straight up the middle. Melbourne with numbers around the contest. Here's Paxman. She'll drive to the top of the square. 1-on-1 at ground level. Chance here for Bannon. Can she finish it off? Touched off her boot. Right to the line. Scott will be taken high. She'll have the last kick of the game and the D's will win. The siren will sound for Shelley Scott. She won't be able to run around. Umpire explaining you can only come around as far as the line of the mark. So she can take 2 steps, run around, and snaps a goal to finish in style. It's a big win for the Demons. They move to 3-0 with a signature victory over one of the competition's pre-season fancies. Melbourne by 9 points.
Sing this song to you. Should all acquaintance people keep your eye on the red and the blue.
What a win for Melbourne. They hang on. It was a goal apiece in a desperate final term. 2 of the best teams in the competition went punch for punch tonight. And one of the best games we've ever seen in the AFLW. Disappointment for North Melbourne. They'll be back. These 2 teams may well meet again come finals time. But tonight it's the D's getting the job done.